All right, welcome to today's explainer. We're jumping right in today to uncover why losing weight so often feels like this grueling uphill battle against your own body. If you've ever felt like your metabolism is literally sabotaging you, well, you are definitely not alone. We're going to dive into the science behind this biological rebellion, and more importantly, we're going to reveal the hidden levers, things completely within your control, that can actually help you rewrite the rules of your own metabolism.
So here's a pretty wild question to kick things off. Despite the massive, multi-billion-dollar fitness industry and all the info we have right at our fingertips, why do a staggering 90% of people who lose a significant amount of weight just end up gaining it all back? It's super frustrating, right? And it leads to a whole lot of unnecessary guilt.
But here is the really fascinating part. That 90% failure rate, it is absolutely not because of a lack of willpower or some character flaw. It's actually a biological rebellion. Your body has evolved over thousands of years to prioritize survival, and honestly, it doesn't care at all about your aesthetic goals. Which brings us to section 1, how your body actually fights back.
Let's look at how your body basically turns into an overprotective survivalist the moment you try to shed some weight. It's practically hardwired to view weight loss not as getting healthier, but as a severe threat of starvation. So when you cut calories or suddenly ramp up your workouts, your body triggers what's known as metabolic compensation. Essentially, your metabolism slams on the brakes to preserve and store fat for future energy. To your DNA, a calorie shortage is literally a distress signal.
And this perfectly explains why just spending hours on the treadmill isn't the magic answer. When you break down your total daily energy expenditure, your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, which is just the energy you burn staying alive at rest, accounts for a massive 60 to 70% of your daily burn. Another 10% is used just to digest your food. That leaves only a tiny fraction for actual physical activity, including your workouts and everyday movements.
All right, section 2, the sleep and hunger connection.
Since we know we can't just out-exercise our baseline biology, we really need to look at our first hidden lever, and it's a big one, the connection between sleep and hunger. When you're sleep-deprived, your body starts this vicious hormonal tug-of-war. Your fat cells produce leptin. That's the hormone telling your brain you're full. But when you don't sleep enough, your leptin levels drop. At the exact same time, your stomach pumps out more ghrelin, the hormone that screams, "Feed me!" So you're left with less of the hormone that makes you feel full and a huge spike in the one that makes you ravenous. It is basically a recipe for overeating.
To put that into perspective, look at the brutal effects of getting 5.5 hours of sleep versus 8.5 hours while on a restricted diet. Research shows that when people were put on the exact same calorie restriction, the short sleepers lost 55% less fat. And it gets worse. They actually lost 60% more fat-free body mass, meaning their bodies were burning precious muscle instead of fat. So lacking sleep actively stops your body from burning fat.
But hey, here is some really good, data-driven news for you. Simply extending your sleep to an optimal 8.5 hours can passively reduce your daily energy intake by about 270 calories. And that's without changing your physical activity at all. That is an incredible hidden lever. Just by getting to bed a bit earlier, you naturally recalibrate your neuroendocrine system to literally just desire less food.
Moving right along to section 3, boosting your basal engine. Let's see how we can build this into an actual strategy by upgrading that basal metabolic engine. Remember how BMR is the lion's share of your daily calorie burn? Well, here is how we hack it. While cardio is obviously great, research shows that just 6 weeks of moderate, functional resistance training can actively alter your metabolism. And by functional, we just mean multi-joint movements that mimic everyday activities. Stuff that is totally doable at home, even for beginners.
In fact, in that study, previously sedentary women saw a massive increase of roughly 246 extra calories burned per day at rest. Just let that sink in for a second. Without any major changes to their overall body fat percentage during those 6 weeks, they completely upgraded their biological engine. They were burning an extra 246 calories every single day just sitting around, all thanks to that functional resistance training.
Okay, section 4, the power of NEAT.
This brings us to the true hero of this explainer, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT for short. This might be the most underrated tool in weight management. Coined back in 1999, NEAT basically describes the energy you burn doing literally anything that isn't sleeping, eating, or formal exercise. It's the biological mechanism for life outside the gym. Walking to the printer, standing up, playing with the kids, folding laundry, it's all the incidental movement of your day.
And what is absolutely mind-blowing here is that the cumulative effect of these tiny minor movements can account for a difference of up to 2,000 calories a day between two people of the exact same size. 2,000 calories! That's like running a half marathon, entirely driven by how much someone casually moves during their normal daily routine.
So instead of beating yourself up over missing a gym session, remember that all these everyday things are actual biological victories. Fidgeting at your desk? That's neat. Washing dishes by hand? Neat. Window shopping, gardening. Actually, research even shows that laughter measurably increases NEAT. You can genuinely expend energy without exercising, and it has a massive impact.
Finally, Section 5. Putting the puzzle together.
Let's put all these pieces together and see how you can deliberately bypass this biological rebellion. We know the body fights back, but now we've got the tools to outsmart it. By combining these levers, you can completely rewrite the rules. First, prioritize getting 7.5 to 8.5 hours of sleep to keep those hunger hormones in check. Second, add in some achievable functional resistance training to boost your resting burn rate. And third, just inject more NEAT into your day. In fact, studies show that just increasing your standing and casual walking by 2.5 hours a day can burn an extra 350 calories.
Ultimately, as Dr. Matthew R. Pittman points out, whether you're using medical or surgical-assisted weight loss programs, which are very successful, the absolute key element is you. Fully committing to these behavioral and lifestyle changes is what makes long-term success possible. It's not about starving yourself. It's about smart, sustainable lifestyle architecture.
So, I'll leave you with this thought. Knowing what you know now about your body's hidden levers, how are you going to redesign your daily environment tomorrow? What's one small change you can make to grab a little more sleep, build a bit more strength, or just weave some more natural movement into your day? The power to stop fighting your body and actually start working with it, it's entirely in your hands. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this empowers you to pull those levers to your advantage.